Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Steffy walks in on Carter and Hope. Hope and Carter were kissing in the designer's office. Carter urged that they keep what they were doing to themselves for the time being. Steffy strolled in, so Carter and Hope quickly separated and claimed to be working. Steffy asked them what was going on. Steffy assumed what Hope and Carter were talking about. Steffy ripped into Hope for asking Carter about her hope for the future figures again. Flushed, Hope agreed and inquired if Steffy was looking for Ridge. Hope replied she didn't know where Ridge was, but Steffy said she did. "He's with my mother," Steffy explained. Hope waved off the fact that Ridge and Taylor were spending more time together, and Carter agreed with everything Hope said. Hope and Carter exchanged knowing looks and subtle messages with each statement they said about communication and relationships. Carter had to leave for a meeting, but Hope told him that later she would like to pick up where they had left off. Once alone, Steffy admonished Hope to quit badgering Carter about HFTF. Steffy added that Carter was an asset to the company, and they didn't want to lose him. Love General Hospital, B&B, Days or other soaps? Join the debate on our SC forums. Click here to interact with fans and get into discussions immediately. Hope said that Carter had made a fair point about communication. Hope reminded Steffy they didn't have to replicate their mom's feud. Steffy reminded Hope that she had kissed Steffy's husband. Steffy agreed that she didn't want their kids to grow up like Hope and Steffy had, witnessing their mothers quarrel constantly. Hope stated the first step was accepting that Brooke was with Ridge, not Taylor. Steffy reminded Hope that her parents would always love one another. Steffy stated that her mom was a lovely person and had no wish to break up a relationship. At Steffy's, Taylor told Chandra and Ridge that she knew how wonderful meditation might be, but she had her concerns, as she had a physical disease. Chandra and Ridge encouraged Taylor to be receptive to the process. Chandra encouraged Taylor to let her breathing become one with Ridge as his hand was on Taylor's heart. Brooke watched from outside the back door. With Ridge's support, Taylor followed Chandra's directions. Chandra explained that Ridge's hand on her heart will assist balance her chakra. Ridge vowed Taylor he would do everything it necessary to mend her heart. Chandra warned Ridge and Taylor about the physical and mental impacts of betrayal and heartbreak. Ridge said he had researched how to execute the next phase, and he demonstrated to Taylor how to sit, stretch her arms, and breathe. Outside, Brooke was beside herself, wondering what they were doing. Chandra walked Taylor through the process until she tapped into her pain, and it started to release. Ridge and Taylor kept looking at each other, breathing together, and both got tearful. As it appeared to be working, Chandra offered another position for them to connect deeper and assist release energy. Chandra requested Ridge to sit cross-legged and had Taylor sit in his lap with her arms wrapped over his back. Chandra told them to stare into each other's eyes. Chandra added that Ridge was supporting Taylor and letting out her grief. Ridge informed Taylor it was alright to feel and that she was secure. Ridge and Taylor grieved together some more as Chandra encouraged Taylor to face the anxieties and pain she had buried in her heart. "I don't want to run anymore," Taylor wept as Ridge hugged her. After the session concluded, Taylor told Ridge and Chandra that she felt like she had a huge weight off her chest and could breathe again. She thanked Chandra for explaining everything and apologized for being doubtful. Chandra encouraged Taylor to keep it up to heal entirely, and she requested Ridge to be there for Taylor. Once alone, Taylor revealed she hadn't cried that intensely since they had lost Phoebe. Taylor praised Ridge, as well. Ridge said that Taylor had done the work, but she corrected him and said they had done it jointly. Taylor stated she recognized Chandra's warning that she might feel raw afterward, and she observed how depleted she felt. Taylor told Ridge that she didn't take him for granted and considered his compassion a great gift. Taylor apologized for putting Ridge in a bad place and stated he didn't have to keep her condition a secret longer. "Thank you for healing my broken heart," Taylor murmured as Ridge hugged her. As soon as Ridge departed, Brooke burst in and shocked Taylor. Brooke stated she had witnessed everything, from the candles to the straddling, and she wanted to know what was occurring. Taylor said that she had a condition called shattered heart syndrome. Brooke snickered at the moniker and remarked, "You've got to be kidding me. Broken heart syndrome?" Brooke thought the ailment was just another manipulative method for Taylor to get Ridge back into her life. Hope Logan's emotions were running high after the sad news of Ridge and Brooke's quick breakup, and she was determined to pin the blame entirely on Steffy Forrester. The breakup of Ridge, the adored coupling of Brooke Logan and Ridge Forrester, had always been a source of friction, notably between their respective children, who had long inherited their parents' antagonism. For Hope, this latest rift hit close to home, as it meant watching her mother, Brooke, once again ripped apart by the apparently endless conflict over Ridge's loyalty. And in Hope's eyes, the main culprit behind the latest fallout wasn't Ridge or even Brooke's blunders. No, this time it was Steffy's involvement that had caused irreparable damage, and Hope was ready to react. Over the years, Hope and Steffy's relationship had been anything but easy. Their conflicts over Liam Spencer had left deep wounds, and though the rivalry had cooled down for a time, the tension between them never totally dissipated. Hope had worked hard to make peace with Steffy for the sake of their children and their blended families, but recent occurrences made her question whether Steffy had ever actually intended to be a neutral participant. With the news of Ridge leaving Brooke and reverting back to Taylor Hayes, Steffy's mother, Hope couldn't shake the idea that Steffy had a larger hand in planning the split than anybody was acknowledging. Hope's concerns were heightened by Steffy's outspoken support for her parents' reunion. Steffy had always been vociferous about wanting Ridge to return to Taylor, and she was never shy in expressing her belief that Ridge and Taylor belonged together. It wasn't lost on Hope that Steffy had taken advantage of every opportunity to push Ridge in Taylor's direction, and this time, her efforts seemed to have worked off. For Hope, it felt as though Steffy had purposefully destroyed Brooke and Ridge's relationship, seizing every weak moment in their marriage to present Brooke as the villain and Taylor as the appropriate woman by Ridge's side. The final straw for Hope came when she overheard Steffy chatting about Brooke's past transgressions. Steffy's words were dripping with judgment as she described Brooke's history with men, underlining the blunders that had drove Ridge away. For Hope, it was a cruel reminder of the long-standing hatred between their families. Steffy was manipulating the situation, using Brooke's vulnerabilities to explain Ridge's departure, and it enraged Hope to no end. In Hope's perspective, Steffy was rewriting history to suit her own agenda, ignoring the fact that Ridge had played a role in the marriage's failure, too. But instead of accepting her father's failings, Steffy had manipulated the narrative to make Brooke look like the main reason of the separation, which Hope felt as unfair and cruel. Fueled by this rising sense of betrayal, Hope decided it was time to confront Steffy head-on. She could no longer sit idly by while Steffy continued to meddle in her family's business. Hope was very protective of her mother, and she knew that Brooke was in a delicate position after losing Ridge. The last thing Brooke needed was to feel like she was the villain in everyone's story, especially when Hope believed that Ridge's wandering heart had played just as big a role in their divorce. Hope's showdown with Steffy was intense, as years of pent-up animosity finally boiled over. "You just couldn't help yourself, could you?" Hope spat, her voice shaking with anger. "You've been waiting for this moment, waiting for my mom to fall apart so that your parents could swoop in and take what they wanted. This has always been your plan, hasn't it?" Steffy, taken aback by Hope's abrupt onslaught, sought to justify herself, but Hope wasn't interested in hearing explanations. "Don't pretend like you didn't know exactly what you were doing. You've been manipulating Ridge and Taylor this whole time, pushing your dad to divorce my mom so that you can finally have the beautiful little Forrester family you've always dreamed of." Steffy, upset by the charge, fired back. "You have no idea what you're talking about, Hope. My parents adore each other, and Ridge belongs with my mom. Your mother is the one who couldn't stop betraying him. How many times does Brooke have to injure Ridge before you admit that their relationship is toxic?" But Hope wasn't having it. "My mom made mistakes, yes, but so did Ridge. You act like your family is ideal, but Ridge has been stringing both my mom and your mom along for years. And you've been encouraging it because you can't handle the thought of my mom being happy." The tension between them increased as both ladies kept their ground, reluctant to back down. For Hope, this wasn't just about Ridge and Brooke's breakup, it was about the years of hatred and competition that had defined their relationship. In her mind, Steffy had crossed a boundary by deliberately seeking to rip apart her mother's marriage, and now it was personal. The consequences from this fight was certain to resonate across their families. While Steffy could deny having personally caused Ridge and Brooke's split, Hope's opinion that Steffy had meddled would not be easily shaken. Hope felt justified in her wrath and was ready to take action to protect her mother. Whether that meant creating further gap between their families or actively seeking to destroy Steffy's own personal life, Hope was prepared to go to war. As the dust settled from their intense argument, Hope couldn't help but feel the weight of what had just transpired. She had spent so much of her life trying to keep the peace, trying to rise above the drama that often consumed their families, but this time, it felt different. This time, she was willing to battle for what she believed was right. Brooke had always been a survivor, but Hope refused to let her mother stand alone against the Forrester family once again. In the weeks that followed, the animosity between Hope and Steffy would only continue to escalate, threatening to pull others into their feud. Ridge, caught between the two women he loved, would undoubtedly find himself in an even more vulnerable situation as Hope's hatred against Steffy escalated. And Brooke, distraught and feeling betrayed by Ridge's departure, would find comfort in her daughter's unshakable allegiance even as it set off a chain of events that may change their family relations forever. For now, Hope's retribution was just beginning. She was determined to make Steffy pay for what she believed was her involvement in tearing apart Brooke and Ridge's marriage, even if it meant reigniting the old Logan-Forrester feud. As Hope prepared to launch her struggle against Steffy, one thing was clear: the lines had been set, and there was no turning back. The aftermath from Ridge and Brooke's breakup would leave scars on both families, and Hope was eager to ensure that Steffy would suffer the consequences of her actions. The drama on The Bold and the Beautiful reached new heights when Carter Walton, ever the slick and ambitious player, made a bold pitch that sent ripples through Forrester Creations, while Hope Logan found herself in hot trouble. Meanwhile, Liam Spencer's passionate homage to Hope stirred up deep emotions, and the everlasting rivalry between Brooke Logan and Taylor Hayes rekindled with fresh ferocity. Carter's pitch: business or personal? Carter Walton, Forrester Creations' dedicated COO, had always been a man with clear aspirations, both in business and his love life. In recent months, he had managed to position himself in the center of love entanglements, but his focus suddenly appeared to be shifting. Carter's surprising suggestion to the Forrester board took everyone by surprise. Known for being careful and analytical, Carter gave an ambitious business pitch that might have lasting repercussions on the company's destiny. However, some couldn't help but wonder if Carter's recent closeness to Hope Logan influenced his decision-making. Carter's pitch wasn't simply about cash and expansion, there was something more emotional beneath his comments. His growing relationship to Hope had been a hot topic of discussion, particularly when his love for her seemed to blur the borders between work and personal interests. Was his proposal actually about what was best for Forrester Creations, or was he seeking to guarantee a future with Hope by aligning himself with her? The boardroom buzzed with curiosity, and whispers of whether Carter's judgment could be compromised began to spread. Hope busted, secrets and scandal. While Carter's pitch was a huge moment, Hope Logan found herself stuck in a much more hazardous predicament. Over the past 3 weeks, Hope's behavior had raised more than a few eyebrows, particularly about her relationships with Liam and Carter. What started as normal business dealings had developed into something more, and Hope's sentiments were spiraling out of control. It wasn't long before Hope's secrets were discovered, and the fallout was immense. Hope, long known for her ethical personality, had let her guard down. Her flirting with Carter hadn't gone unnoticed, and when she was captured in a compromising setting, the scandal hit hard. The news of Hope's romantic engagement with Carter was a shock to those who knew her best, notably Liam. Hope's treachery sent shockwaves across her personal life, leaving her to confront the consequences of her actions. The previously secure and ethically grounded Hope suddenly found herself in the heart of a tempest that threatened to destroy her marriage, job, and reputation. Liam's tribute, a heartfelt gesture or desperation? Amid the tumult surrounding Hope, Liam Spencer sought to negotiate his complicated sentiments. Despite the rising difficulty in their marriage, Liam had never given up on his love for Hope. In a frantic endeavor to remind her of everything they had shared, Liam put together a heartfelt memorial for his wife. A movie loaded with memories of their love story, their family, and the life they had made together. Liam thought this huge gesture would rekindle the spark between them. The tribute, while genuine, came out as a mix of sincerity and desperation. Liam had always been one to fight for his relationships, but this time it felt different. His anxieties about Hope's connection with Carter remained big, and the tribute film, while well-intentioned, seemed to underline just how far they had gone. Hope's reaction to the homage was bittersweet, as the gesture reminded her of the love she still had for Liam, but it also emphasized the growing distance between them. As Hope viewed the video, she couldn't help but feel divided between her history with Liam and the new, exciting feeling she had acquired for Carter. Liam's dedication was a sad reminder of their profound connection, but it wasn't enough to remove the intricacies of the situation she had gotten herself into. Brooke versus Taylor, the rivalry reignites. While Hope and Liam's relationship was in upheaval, another long-standing battle was once again coming to the forefront: Brooke Logan versus Taylor Hayes. The two ladies had spent decades battling for Ridge Forrester's heart, and despite moments of calm, their animosity was never far from the surface. With Ridge stuck in the middle as always, Brooke and Taylor's battle erupted once more, this time with a fresh intensity. The current confrontation between Brooke and Taylor wasn't just about Ridge, though. It was about their children and the influence each mother had over them. Brooke was extremely protective of Hope, and she didn't hesitate to point the finger at Taylor, accusing her of supporting Steffy's constant intervention in Hope's life. Taylor, on the other hand, defended Steffy and called out Brooke for what she viewed as years of manipulation and control over Ridge. The tension reached its peak when Brooke confronted Taylor about her recent intimate time with Ridge. Brooke, never one to hold back, accused Taylor of trying to undermine her relationship with Ridge once again. Taylor, however, kept her own, stating that her bond with Ridge had always been deeper and more real than Brooke's. The two women's confrontation was heated, with decades of unresolved tensions bursting to the surface. While Brooke and Taylor's dispute carried on, Ridge found himself once again caught between two women who had changed his life. As much as he attempted to remain neutral, Ridge's own unresolved feelings for both ladies simply added gasoline to the flames. His unwillingness to make a decisive choice between Brooke and Taylor continued to damage not only his relationships but also the ties between their children. What's next? With Carter's business and personal ambitions clashing, Hope's secrets uncovered, Liam's emotional homage hanging in the balance, and Brooke and Taylor reigniting their fight, the future of Forrester Creations, and everyone's personal life, hangs in the balance. The drama is far from ended, and the effects of these events are destined to resonate through the lives of everyone involved. Hope's decision between Carter and Liam will be vital, but with her scandalous activities already out in the open, it remains to be seen whether she'll be able to save her marriage or if Carter will become a more permanent fixture in her life. Meanwhile, the endless battle between Brooke and Taylor shows no signs of slowing down, especially with Ridge's heart still very much up for grabs. The stakes are higher than ever, and as the dust settles, it's evident that no one will get out of this undamaged. Whether it's business, romance, or family conflict, The Bold and the Beautiful continues to provide stunning turns that leave fans eagerly awaiting what happens next.